Hmm. Hey everybody, how you doing? This is Kevin Collins of Greenwood Management. Just want to give you all some easy tips on budgeting basics. We all need these little simple terms to use, and we all know that there's a lot of ways that people want to take our money, but I'm going to give you some simple steps to take to be able to come out of debt. First step you want to do is gather all your bills from last month. Don't worry about anything else. Just gather your bills from last month. It's important to do this because if you start pulling up things from month before last and all other stuff, you get confused. Let's start with today. So as time moves on, you make this habit up of being able to review yourself of the following month. And then as time goes on, you'll be able to track your expenses and track your income. But right now, let's start with this first one of gathering your bills from last month. We only want the simple bills now. We don't want credit cards and all that stuff. We just want the bills that you live off of. Keep them other bills to the side because we're going to use them later. Get your bank statement up right now. Your bank statement is a very important piece to have because what it does is it gives you the information you need off your expenses that you are doing. And it's documented. You don't have to guess on anything. Now what I want you to do is from that bank statement and from memory, write down the income of your month. But let's just use the bank statement to actually show our income. Now, if some of you are not using bank statements, then you're going to have to take these bills and look at whatever um, items you use to write down your income and your expenses on. But you need to know how much money is coming in and how much money is going out. Now, what you want to do is, like as I said before, you only want to write down the bills that you need to live with. You don't worry about credit card bills, no car payments, none of that stuff. Only thing you need to write down is your mortgage, your rent, um, you write down your utility bills, things that you are actually needed to live with. Write down all the payments due. As I said before, don't worry about credit cards. Credit cards are not part of this right now. If the credit card lapses, you ain't gonna stop living. You need to write down the things that you need to live with. Of course, you need to write down your food costs. You need to live. So anything that deals with food, like you bring the food home to eat, you go to the grocery store, write those things down. If you're eating out, don't write that down because that's an added expense. You don't have to eat out unless you don't know how to cook. Then that's a difference. Then you have to actually add that one in until you learn how to cook. And it'll actually save you money. And it'll be healthier for you too. The last thing you want to do at this point is you want to total all of your living expenses up. And you want to subtract these living expenses from your actual income. What this gives you is your net income. Very important. This is how much money you have left over after you do everything you need to live. Now, this is where everybody start having problems at, your acquired expenses. Now, these expenses include having the bills that you already have right now, but getting your car payments, your credit cards, your cell phones, people that you owe money to. You already got the gas and all them other companies taken care of before. Now we're talking about things that you really don't need, but if you live in states like California, you gotta have a car. Or like Alabama where everything is stretched out. You need to have transportation. So whether it be your own transportation or whether you're catching a bus, you want to write these expenses down to take a good look at all the expenses that you have and see exactly where your money is going. Next thing you want to do is just take all the withdrawals that you keep on doing. A lot of us go to the bank and we withdraw money and we just don't know where that money's going. Well, that's going to be a little that's going to be a little area that you write down as just withdrawals. So you can see how much money you just snatching out of the bank and just not knowing where it's going. Now, let's add all this up. Let's total all these expenses, these acquired expenses, and minus this from your net income. Yeah, a lot of us are going to be surprised. I know I was when I did this because I was always in the negative. That's not good. That means I need to change. I need to change how I am actually spending my money so that my total income is, instead of it being negative, it's going to be positive. Hmm. Change the net income. Let's really look at this. key thing everybody wants to start doing is when you start looking at your net income, there's some things that you really need to be focused on. Here's one of the key ones that I look at. Cost of living expenses. First thing you want to look at, cable bill, gas bill, electric bills. Yes, we're all in COVID, but there are other things you can do to actually bring these things down. How many of us have cable bills where we're looking at, we have the maximum package, we have Netflix, we have Amazon Prime, Disney Plus, all these different companies who are out here with these products to sell us so that we can just watch TV. If you change your mind frame, then all of these channels become where I only need certain ones to watch certain programs. And you'll start changing your mind frame on how you're going to spend these bills. So let's get rid of some of this stuff. If you only watch Netflix, if you don't like what's going on with Netflix, get rid of it. If you got a cable bill, you got channels on the packages that you don't need the stuff no more, call the cable company and tell them you don't need that stuff no more. Now, if you're on a contract, you got to hold the contract out. But after the contract is up, which most of us are off, change everything. Because all they're going to do is just charge you more money. You need to be able to tell them what you want because you're paying your money for a product that you want, not something they want to give you, but what you want to have. Now, as far as food, here's one thing that you can start doing. I know a lot of people say I don't have a green thumb, but grow your food. It's real easy. Start off with something simple. That's hard. That can take a person who don't have a green thumb, like an onion, garlic. Just go buy a simple little trough or something like that. You can even get your little flower pot at the 99-cent store. Go over to the, say, nurseries or somewhere like that. Talk to people at the nursery. They can sell you the bulbs of onions. They're very small bulbs. They're very easy to grow. All you do is stick them in the ground and water them and watch them grow. Not only will you get the actual big onion in the bottom, but you get the green onions on top. 2 for 1. Garlic's the same way. You get the garlic leaves on the top and you get the huge garlic clove at the bottom. It's a beautiful thing. It's a win-win situation. And cheaper than actually going to the store to go buy it. Economically, you got to drive to the store. Then you got to take the time out to look for the onion. And then you got to take the time out to come back home. Economically, you just lost. But if you have it in your backyard, you can take care of the things you got in your backyard. And at the same time, it's a little bit healthier for you too, because you're not looking at waste. Or you're not looking at junk being put into your food. You know what's being put into your food because you're growing in your backyard. Here's what a lot of us have a problem with, and that's wasting food. My wife, yes, we had to talk about this. She loves to cook. I like to eat, but we don't eat all the food all the time. It's just me, her, and my daughter. We had to learn how to limit our food waste. That means don't cook as much food. Eat your leftovers, all your leftovers. And the way you be throwing away is scraps, small scraps, meaning paper towels and maybe a bone. But it won't be actual food you're throwing away. And speaking of greenhouse gases, think about this one. Think closer than this. That color green is money. You're actually throwing money away when you throw away your food. Now, you want to increase your net income? Here's one of the key pieces of doing it. Because once you reduce your expenses, you actually increase your income, your net income. We got to remember, we got to change our minds now. Money is not something you need. It's a tool. It's a tool where you start paying off things. It's a tool that you use to fund the expenses that you have. The value is based on what it provides for you. It's not based off the dollar amount. It's what can it do for you. Simple. What can this money do for you? That's what we need to be at. Now these acquired expenses, we all got to change this. Got to prioritize our bills. You don't need to, now the number one thing you need to do is you ain't got to get rid of your credit cards. Just limit your expenses. Bring that value down. If you're spending 100% over the credit card limit, well, you can't handle money. But if you learn how to keep things at 30%, make it a habit to having your credit card limits at 30%, 50% at the most. But if you keep it at 30%, it actually will be able to help you control your spending, control your debt. And it actually elevates your credit score. Why? Because it shows the creditors that you know how to take care of your own money and that you're not overspending. Your debt to income ratio stays low. Car payments, one of the worst investments you can ever make in your life because it takes forever for those things to double in value or to even regain the value that you paid for. So when it comes to car payments, let's stop having car payments. Let's just get that out your head. Start doing things where you can pay cash money for your vehicle, or if you're going to borrow some money, get you an annuity and take a loan out against an annuity, or get you a life insurance policy that you can actually take a loan out against. That way, or your 401ks. That way, when you start paying the money back, you're actually investing the money back into your own self, not into somebody else's pocket where you'll never see that money again. At least you paid $40,000 for a car. That $40,000 is going to be put right back into your pocket, nobody else's. And most of all, I have this problem because I've always needed extra money and I didn't know how to get extra money. And payday loans became a very simple way to get money. But think about this. Me, I had $255 every month. $45 every month I was throwing away. What I began to do is I seen how much money I was throwing away every month. I got that Robinhood app. I eliminated my payday loans. And that $45 that I never saw again every month, I see it now in stocks. You can buy simple stocks from that little $45. So you want to throw away $45? Throw it away in stocks. Hell, at least at the end of the month or the end of the year, you're still going to see your money. Remember, you're going to be wealthy. Wealth is the only thing that you can do. Nobody's going to bring you wealth. You have to bring wealth to yourself. Because if you depend on anybody to bring you wealth, you're going to be waiting a long time. Money is a tool to fund expenses that you encounter in life. You got to remember this. It is a tool. It's not something that you need. It's a tool, just like being a mechanic. I have to have this tool to make it easier for me to do the job. But if I walk into go do a brake job with a crescent wrench, it's going to take me a whole lot longer to do the job. But if I have the right tools, then it's going to be a lot easier and quicker for me to complete the job safely and effectively. The number one thing you want to do in life is manage your expenses. Don't let those expenses manage you. So many times we are in this position where our expenses manage us and we manage to maintain debt. Don't follow that ideology. Make it where you are managing your expenses. Just had to share that with you all. Keep on doing things in life. The more and more you see, every dollar that you make, and you make it properly, and you use it properly, $1 continues to grow. But you have to make that dollar grow. And it takes time. We'll all be wealthy one day in our lives. But wealth only comes in the mind. It also, just remember, the money will roll in, but you have to control how the money rolls in and how it rolls out. Just remember, don't work for your money. Make your money work for you. Y'all keep it up. May God bless you and keep you. Peace.